In the last few years, there has been so much interest about growing olive trees in Oregon. Well, I am at the best place to see all that. I'm at Red Ridge Farms with Paul Durant. And Paul, this is the place to go if you need any other information about olive trees.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, we're pretty excited about, we have a new partner that we're working with, McAvoy Ranch out of Petaluma, California. And they are supplying us with olive trees now out of their wholesale nursery. And we really feel like, it's been a lot of experimentation, obviously, but we feel like we've really started to hit on maybe the right varietals here for Oregon. So it's been great.
Yeah, I was here a couple years ago, many years ago, and saw that orchard that you put down there, and it was amazing to see olives in Oregon, and I have one at my house, and I can't wait to be harvesting, but you have some varieties that I haven't heard of, because I have one called Arbequina.
Yep.
And so that's a really good one.
It's a good one, and we have, initially, our focus was really on primarily three varietals, the Arbequina, an Arbesana, and a Koroniki. The Arbesana and the Koroniki probably not real well suited for Oregon, but the Arbequina continues to do well, but we also shifted our attention to some other varietals, and really we focused on these Tuscans, which are primarily Frantoios, Licinos, and Pendolinos.
Okay.
And so this is a Frantoio here. You can see this is a nice big tree, and this is one of the key elements for growing trees in Oregon. These trees just need enough gas in the tank, so to speak, that when there's a freeze event or things get cold in the winter, that they're able to, kind of survive that cold shock. And so one thing in working with McAvoy is, is what do the roots look like?
Nice plant.
Nice plant. They really focus on, slow growing of these trees. They're not driving them real hard. And so kind of my advice when, people come and talk to us about, what to look for in an olive tree is look at the roots, so pop them out of the pot and see, maybe it has great foliage up here, but maybe the roots haven't been really well established. And that's really been a key element for us. We started planting some of these trees of this size last year, and they've practically, close to, maybe quadrupled or, very at least doubled in size in just the last year. So we're really excited about it.
That is good. And so maybe really good drainage because it rains so much here in our winter time.
Yeah, it's really important for olives. They don't like to have wet feet, as they say. And so good drainage is really important. They originated in kind of those rocky soils in the Middle East. And that's, kind of where they're best at home is to have good drainage. And the other part of that is good high pH soils. They do not like acidic soils, which is a challenge here in Oregon. We have these rain-washed hills, and so we generally have acidic soil. So, sweetening up the soil a little bit, putting in a little bit of lime. It's easy to do, just, around the tree. And also maybe a little spot of phosphorus, too, also helps, at the bottom of the hole, put some soil over that, and then put your plant down on top of that, a little bit of phosphorus.
Really good tips, and you have it from an expert. And so, this is the other one that you were talking about.
Yep. Now, this is a Licino, and as you can see, almost identical. These trees originated out of Italy, hence the kind of, we call them Tuscans. And but they grow very similar. They do need pollinators.
Okay, so we need two.
Yeah, you really need two of different varieties. And so, we recommend if people do want to have fruit off their trees, of any sort of quantity, to plant a mix of varieties. So, a Frantoio with a Licino or a Pendolino, or even with the Arbequina. Even cross-pollinating just between those varieties will work as well.
That sounds good. And what about flavoring? So they're all going to taste just a little bit different.
A little bit different. The Arbequina, which, people may be familiar with that oil, it's a small fruit or small berry, and it produces more of a sweeter oil, and also in the kind of the brining process too, it's very mild. Versus the Italians, they're generally much more hearty, robust. They have a great bitterness and pungency, and really it's a really great oil, and I kind of tell people, start with an Arbequina if you're not familiar with olive oils. It's kind of a good starter oil, but then you'll kind of you'll build yourself up to kind of the more robust oils. So,
And at Red Ridge, you can go into the shop, and they do have like an olive tasting bar, so you can really taste all the nuances of the different flavors, and then you know what tree to grow at your own home.
Yes, exactly. And that's really the neat thing. We do keep them, the oils are separated by variety. We don't really blend them. And so you can really get a sense, just like with wine, you know, like
Sure.
this is like a Chardonnay versus, you know, a Pinot Gris or a Pinot Noir or something like that. They're all very, very distinctive.
And you know what, the other great thing out here at Red Ridge is they have a lot of different classes, and then they have a lot of events coming up with their winery and with the olives.
Yep.
So really go to gardentime.tv and click over to their website and check on all the events going on.
Yeah, thank you. It's really great. We have a bunch of stuff coming up in the fall. We'll probably start milling olives in, you know, around mid-October,
Okay.
and that's always open to the public. You know, we
Aw.
post it on our website, and we always encourage people to come and see the milling process. It's really fascinating, and it's so unique. And then in November, we'll do our big open house the weekend before Thanksgiving, where people can come really get a sense of the product we make. So, yeah.
So mark your calendars and really come out to see all that event, because it's something so unique to Red Ridge Farms and to this little part of Oregon. So thanks so much.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.